You can ensure yourself an A or at least a B in your extended essay provided that you're following your deadlines and you're making sure you're doing everything right when it comes to your research. So in this episode, we're going to be breaking down 11 points for how to get at least an A in your extended essay. So first up, choose a focused and engaging topic. There's already an episode out on that. You can go and look at that just for a little refreshment on how you should be choosing an extended essay topic. But to talk more about this, to ensure that your topic is very specific enough to allow a very in-depth analysis, it's really important to just do a lot of background research on your topic to ensure there's enough data. The best way to do that is go on Google Scholar and search up articles, because that's the best way to get your information. That's secondary, but it's also really important to have broad and enough data to find enough material. So again, go on Google Scholar, go on YouTube, go on even Quora if you're looking at opinions or something. It depends a lot on your topic, but get a wide range of secondary sources from blog posts, articles, research papers, YouTube videos, things like that, because it'll give you a very good holistic bibliography at the end. Now, number 2, craft a very clear research question, a very focused and a very strong research question. It's very important to have one because it guides the essay and it also helps you to maintain clarity, because when you go back to your research question, you'll be like, okay, this is what I'm researching on, and it'll also help you outline your essay. And it is also very important to make sure it's a very answerable question, because you need to do very thorough research and analysis. So it just can't be very descriptive. It needs to be very to the point, so that when you're researching, for example, if you're doing your research in history, then you have to talk about how what particular event you're looking at, or if you're looking at a particular person and their impact on the event, which country, which year, these type of things. It helps you narrow down your topic to a very particular stream of research, and that'll also help you outline your essay as you go about your research. Now, number 3, plan thoroughly and stick to deadlines. This is so important because, again, your extended essay, it is a 4,000 word essay, which is a very tedious task. It's really hard to write a 4,000 word essay with, in-depth analysis. Some topics, they go above 4,000 pages, and some just don't meet that word limit because it's not required for you to write so much on one topic, considering its scope and capabilities of research. So the best way to do that is go to your supervisor, your teachers, and ask them if they think that this is a very good topic and if it has scope for 4,000 words. The best way is to write a research proposal, send it to them, and show them the bibliography you've done, so that they also have a good idea of how much data is available or not. Now, talking about staying on track, create a very structural timeline for your research, for your writing, and also revisiting or revising any particular last-minute stress that you can have. The main purpose of having a timetable for yourself almost and kind of sticking to it is that you will have so many IAs and other, if you're in DP2, you'll have your college application and so much other stuff that's going to take a lot of your time. So obviously, it's good to start early. Every school has their own timeline, but for you, it's good for you to start as soon as possible and to do as much as work that you can. Again, don't rush through it, do it properly, take your time, but kind of make sure that you're keeping yourself organized enough to not miss any deadlines. The best way to do that is break down the essay into manageable sections, such as in the first week, I'm going to just write my introduction, but before that, I'm going to do my literature review. After that, I'm going to take 3 weeks writing the main body, then I'm going to take 1 week to do my conclusion. Then I'm going to take another 2 to 3 weeks for getting back to my supervisor, having meetings with them, and also ensuring that everything's going smoothly. If there are any corrections or any revision needed, I'll just do that. Because this is going to help you tackle these particular tasks not only easily, but also with enough time to spare at the very end, where you can just review and make sure everything is perfectly, inclined to how you and your supervisor would like it to be. Now, number 4, conduct comprehensive research. This is so important. This is a proper research paper. That's why your literature review needs to be very strong. You should have a lot of research articles backing up your claims, but you should also have particular, like I said earlier, articles and maybe even YouTube videos, blog posts, these type of things that can support you and show that you've gotten your research primarily from research articles, but you've also gotten them from other places to show that your research is very holistic. The best way to do that is use a variety of credible sources. I'm sure you already know this, but don't use Wikipedia. That is just stupid. Wikipedia, you can change information that's not a reliable source. Go on Google Scholars, search up articles, go on YouTube. Make sure if you see something on YouTube or maybe even Instagram Reels, I wouldn't advise Instagram Reels or something like that, but if the person making that video, if they're citing their sources, then you can go on the source and just directly use that as your citation, because that will be more credible and it'll also make your referencing easier. Annotate your sources to also keep track of important information. What I mean by this is, when you're doing your research, you need to write down your citation through footnotes. The best way is, as you are writing your paper, cite it and then kind of just add it as you go, because at the end you will need to cite your paper, but you won't know exactly where to do so. So it's just the best way to do it. Do it as you're writing your paper. Just cite the work, APA, whatever you use, and put in the footnote. It's the easiest way of making sure that you are not only keeping a track of your citations, but you're also adding it into your paper. Now, number 5, prioritize your analysis over description. I've said this so many times on this channel already. Do not ever describe. Always analyze. What this means is, when we write, we tend to summarize or write a description of the topic. Don't do that. Analyze it. You know why? Because, for example, your EE, it should showcase your critical thinking and your insight. So, focus on analyzing rather than just like merely describing facts or ideas, because that will not help you score at all. And when you're writing, ask yourself a simple question, which is, why is this important and how does this relate to my research? Because when you ask these 2 questions, it'll automatically give you an answer which you have to incorporate into your paper. Because, for example, in your introduction, you need to add a section where you mention the scope of this research and why it's significant and why you should be researching on this. Like, what is the main aim of this research, but why is it also significant? When you do this at the very start of your essay brainstorming, it will help you get more points to write into your paper. On to number 6, structure for coherence and clarity. So you get points for the structure of your paper as well. So it's really, really important that you use clear headings and logical paragraph structures to make sure that your argument flows very smoothly. Use connectors such as in addition, furthermore, in connection, to continue. This will also help your arguments and your paragraphs flow smoothly and hence give you better marks. And make sure that you summarize each section's main points to maintain your alignment within your research question. This is also something that's going to make you get better marks, because structure and the way you present the information, including the jargon based on your subject and everything like that, it does have its own particular criteria for marks. Now, 7, focus on formal writing and precision. So when you're writing a research paper, never use personal pronouns. Use always the third person point of view, because you're not supposed to write something like, for example, in your methodology, you can't write, in this essay, I will be using da-da-da. You can't write that. Just use, this essay will incorporate elements of the syllabus from XYZ topic. That's the best way to go about it. And write formally and precisely. Make sure that you're avoiding any informal language or any vague expressions. And also proofread proofread and proofread. Get your supervisors to proofread as well, because you have to eliminate any errors and improve your clarity. So make sure that you're reading the essay out loud or getting a second-hand opinion. Just get your friend to read and be like, yo, are there like any like grammatical problems or something, because that will actually cut marks. Now on to number 8. Use strong evidence and cite properly. I know we just spoke about this earlier, but considering the rise of AI, people have been using ChatGPT and things like that, like humanizers, to write their extended essay, which I understand in a way. IB is very rigorous, but at the end of the day, academic honesty is the most important policy in the IB. So make sure that every claim you are making, it's backed up by evidence from your research. This is where your footnotes and your citation comes in. So whenever you write, let's say you write this, like your extended essay is business management, and you're discussing this firm did XYZ thing and whatever, just cite it with like a link or something. Well, not a link, a proper APA citation, because that will help the examiner know that, okay, you've done your research and this is where you're making use of it. So that will also give up a good impression. Now, follow the IB's criteria requirements so like meticulously, because you cannot avoid, like, you cannot have any plagiarism. Try to understand this. ChatGPT is everyone's best friend, bro. I get it, but you cannot get plagiarism in your extended essay, because if you do not pass your course, you will not get your diploma, be it your IA, be it your IO, or your extended essay, your TOK. If it has plagiarism in it, your diploma is going to be flagged. So be very careful about these things. And also, it's not academically honest, which is an ethical concern as it is. Now, number 9, conclude effectively. This meaning that summarize your findings and also reflect on the significance of your research, definitely in connection to your research question. Don't state your research question, just say that, just rephrase it and write it in your paper and say that through the findings, this can be concluded in connection to your research paper in XYZ ways, and whatever that you would like to mention based on the research you've done. And also, do not, never, in your conclusions for any paper, for any thing you write, never add new information in your conclusion. Instead, just reinforce the impact of your analysis. That is more than enough. Okay, number 10, get feedback and revise. I know we've also discussed this earlier, but seek feedback from your supervisors or like a knowledgeable peer, and make sure you make those adjustments and you're meeting their deadlines, because your supervisors won't run after you. You're kind of supposed to run after them and make sure that you're collaborating well as a team. Use their insights to refine your arguments and ensure that your essay meets the rubric criteria very carefully and holistically. If you have a coordinator, have a meeting with them, have a meeting with your supervisor. Try to have at least once a week or once 2 weeks your meetings with these people, just so that you know where you are standing and make sure that you're on track. They will help you so much. They are a resource. Take advantage of that. And lastly, number 11, use the assessment rubric as a checklist. Open up last year's assessment criteria or a marked EE. Read through it. Go on Classify. Read a particular extended essay topic closer to yours, and just go through the markings and the grades that have been given, and open up a rubric and try to see how you can incorporate those elements into your paper, because again, that is what's going to help you score.